Welcome to In Nature's Realm. My name is Bruce Smith, and in this video clip I'm going to show you how to tie the Goulburn Caddis. Now, the Goulburn Caddis is a fly that represents a caddis. A lot of fly fishermen out there believe that it represents a moth. This is not the case. It represents a caddis. Now, this insect only hatches on certain days, and if you're lucky enough to be on the river when this caddis does hatch, you're going to have one of the best fly fishing days of your life. So let's get into it. Let's start tying the Goulburn Caddis. Materials that you will need to tie the Goulburn Caddis will include your hook, being a size 10 or even size 8 to imitate this insect. Your next material that you will need will be fluorescent green fly tying thread, again in 6/0 or 8/0. You will also need brown deer hair for the wing, and you will also require superfine dubbing in olive green for the body, and lastly you will need fine copper wire for the segmentation of the fly. And that is the materials that you will need to tie the Goulburn Caddis. Let's tie the Goulburn Caddis. Our first step to tie the Goulburn Caddis is to select our fluorescent green fly tying thread, and right at the eye of the hook we start to commence to winding the thread onto the hook. We will now cut away the excess there and advance towards the bend of the hook. We're in line with the barb. That is our position to now start tying the egg sac of the insect. Now, the female of this caddis species, when hatching on many of our rivers, will have a very bright green egg sac at the back, and we're imitating that by tying a small ball of tying thread. And there we have the egg sac. Now we will advance back to the eye of the hook. We will whip finish. 1, 2, 3. Take that away. Cut that away. Now we'll take our black fly tying thread, either 6/0 or 3/0, dependent on yourself there. And again, we advance it down to the bend of the hook, stopping just before we get to the egg sac, which is there. At this position we select ourselves a length of copper wire, very fine copper wire, and we tie that in. Cut the excess copper wire away there. And we also tie at this point our hackle feather, being a Hoffman saddle cape feather. Tie that into position there. And our next step is to take some superfine dubbing. This is the superfine dubbing here in an olive green colour. We spin that onto the tying thread. We want to make the back section very, very fine. Advance that up to there like that, and we start it off. And then we build up a tapering body. And that's perfect. As you can see, we've got a bit of excess there. We'll take that away. And there we have the body of the fly. And we take our hackle and we build a body hackle with a bit of a gap between each tongue. We don't need them to be too close together. As you can see, it is producing a beautiful hackle that will float this fly incredibly well. We'll tie off the hackle at the eye of the hook there. Cut away the excess hackle there. We'll take our copper wire and weave that through the fibres so that we don't trap any down. And this will create segmentation to the fly, add strength to the fly, and also produce a bit of a glint to the fly, which is an added attractant. Cut the excess copper wire away, and there we have the egg sac, the body, and the body hackle. Now our last requirement is to select some deer hair, just a small bunch. Give yourself a good length, cut right up to the patch, and then that looks great. It's the right amount we need. Judge the actual proportion of the wing, and then we tie that in at this position here, right at the eye of the hook. And we want just the head of the fibres to spin, not the fibres extending out to the back, just the front ones to spin there. Okay. Now, these fibres at the head, we need to just cut them to the shape of the head. And then tie down nice and securely, come under the head to do the whip finish. Now we can create the whip finish here. Under the head, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and secure. Cut the tying thread away, and then we can bring that head out just a little bit and those wings. Now, last requirement is just to splay those the fibres of the deer hair out to the side so that when it sits on the surface water, it will sit perfectly balanced. And there we have the Goulburn Caddis with the bright fluorescent egg sac. We have the body and so forth. This really is exactly like an elk hair caddis, but just tied in a bigger size with different colours and materials and so forth. But it is a great fly. Tie it up and give it a fish. You'll be pleasantly surprised.